time to get geeked up.
I guess on that, now that I got you all worked up, we'll get you. We'll start to. We'll get into the main reason why I brought you on the show here, as I've teased at the top. But I had to get Ross's take on the Broadway sensation, the once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon, our generation's West Side Story, if you will. But the epic Broadway smash that was Hamilton, of course, with the big Coronaville release here on 4th of July weekend, of course, a year early on Disney Plus due to all the coronavirus shenanigans and whatnot. But I guess before I get Ross's take, I'll give you. I'm going to start. I guess I'll throw out my main thesis statement of this whole show, I'd say. But basically, all I'm saying about Hamilton, vastly overrated. All right, basically just not worth all of the hubbub, okay, is my first point. Okay, second point, and one of the other big reasons why I'm getting Ross on, but I believe that in a lot of ways it's so overrated by people that have ignorantly refused to acknowledge hip-hop as an amazing art form for the last 30-plus years. And now Lin-Manuel does it on Broadway, and everybody, oh, hip-hop, it's so amazing how he rhymed all the words to a beat and said it so fast without messing up. It's amazing.
Yeah, Liam, you couldn't have nailed it any harder. Obviously, that's, I think, why it's such a sensation, because literally an entire genre of music that people were ignoring forever, that everyone knew that listened to it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now these people are like, wow, this exists.
Yeah. And because, just real quick about the show itself, because, Ross, we did obviously watch the Disney Plus thing, but just in terms of Broadway productions, okay, like, if you're going to talk theater, there's a couple different elements. There's the music, then there's, like, the stage design and all that kind of sets.
Or whatever.
There was no stage or sets going on in this movie compared to other
dude.
Sensations like The Lion King or fucking, even this year, like, Network. Or
like
even Oklahoma.
Nutcracker.
Big shout out to Ali Stroker from Ridgewood. But Oklahoma on Broadway had like a really unique set and stage design and production that was at least interesting. Hamilton offered nothing by way of any of that stuff. Okay, in terms of and the other big part about Broadway, but hilariously cheesy, big dancing and choreography numbers. Nothing going down in Hamilton. All right, I was expecting the goofy, them all using their muskets as batons.
Dude, first off, I've got something to say
running
about that.
Sideways across the stage with their...
Dude, all right, first off, funny that you bring up the muskets, because... All right, well, first off, let me say, I don't know if I'm more embarrassed that I watched Hamilton or that I actually had an active subscription to Disney Plus going into this. Number one, that when you called...
I know, I was so shocked. You literally were like, I have Disney Plus. I was like, did you forget the sarcastic quotes? Or where are we going with that text? Do you...
So that one scene where the guy, obviously, what's hilarious about plays is, obviously, 95% of the dudes are just flamboyant and gay, which is fine, but they are. So when the guys are dancing in unison with the muskets as dressed as the British soldiers, I was like, I put myself in the Revolutionary War as an American soldier, and I was like, I would be so fucking intimidated if the opposite side is fucking reloading in unison with little dance twirl flamboyant gay dudes.
These are some experienced soldiers, for fuck's sake. This ain't their first rodeo. These guys are literally
these gay dudes are gonna beat our ass. We are totally
and they're gonna enjoy the shit out of it as well.
Also, I've never seen something where I thought an hour of time has passed, and when I check, only 15 minutes of actual time has passed.
I know. That's another part of this. The fucking 3 hours of rap music? Jesus Christ. If I listen to Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, I'm gonna get bored and want to fucking... All right, let me put some TV on for a little. I'll watch an episode of In the Shadows and get back to the gratuitous violence. But 3 hours of hip-hop, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's...
Also, well, I love that it's a movie, yet they had a cunty intermission Like anybody gives a fuck. Like
seriously,
like you really
The
need
balls
to
of-
give us an.
I know. I'm gonna press pause and take a piss on my own. Thank you very much, Disney Plus.
All right.
Let's not stretch this out anymore. For the love of God.
But all right, so to break down Hamilton more, I look, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought, all right, obviously the guy knows rap. He wouldn't have been able to write a play like that if he had like a shitty nerdy rap background. Like there was a couple shout outs to Biggie. There was a Prodigy line.
A lot of them did. Yeah, a lot of the songs totally lost upon the entire viewing audience of this movie. But a lot totally lost to all the moms out there that fucking loved this one. But a lot of them were started. A lot of the verses were started off the same way that famous rap and hip hop verses were started off and whatnot. A lot of shout outs to rap. And yeah, he's definitely a rap fan. Like, all right, great. You watched
like I was worried it was gonna be like campy ass like fucking what my dad would write for like a rap song, but it wasn't. It was like legitimately good. Like it was very well written.
He's a very mediocre level hip hop artist, I would say. That Little Dicky style, like chose a specific thing to go about, and it's not even like the storytelling and even like improv, like because I guess this project kind of started off with Lin-Manuel Miranda, whatever the fuck his name is. But he had the Freestyle Love Supreme whole thing, so like long before this, and then and then of course In the Heights was like a more traditional Broadway smash, and then this one getting back to more like his rap roots. But even like the MTV when hip hop was popular in the '90s had the Lyricist Lounge show, TV show, which was like improv based. Yeah, like there was a lot of like this is a very old school traditional part of hip hop as an art form. Is like the specific storytelling angle, you know what I mean? He did it for 3 hours. Not 6 minutes. This should have been the fucking 10-minute Weird Al Polka version, or like a Little Dicky version would have been perfect. You know what I mean? Like, wow, it was amazing. He told the story of Hamilton. But 3 hours, and like again, most of my burn here is like the mass hysteria around it, where because it got more tweets than any other play, it's all of a sudden now like $1,200 a ticket. And, it's become... Because I as well did see... I guess the other one that we're going to go comparable to would be Book of Mormon, which I don't know. Did you happen to see Book of Mormon? Because I did.
Never did. I actually wanted to see it,
and it was amazing. And all sorts of amazing production, just South Park-style crazy songs, but on stage with fucking hilarious shit going on all over the place. Like, that's what... You know what I mean? And that's where the bar gets set for, like, a musical comedy like this. This was just a fucking hip-hop performance. You know what I mean? There was no other.
I don't think this was supposed to be a comedy.
No, well, not even comedy, but just like in terms of a theatrical performance. There was no other like theater to this other than the music. It was great music, great lyrics,
they were literally
but the other elements
of
production were totally not there. Whereas in Book of Mormon, there was amazing dance choreography. The fucking sets and shit were interesting and fun, and like totally in theme with the production that you're watching or whatnot. Hamilton was just fucking, you know what I mean? Like we've said, we've seen it all before, and I think a lot of it kind of reminds me of like people that say that they don't like the NBA but love college basketball.
Oh, God,
those assholes. I kind of get the same vibe with this, where it's just like people that have never, the people that have always looked down their nose at hip hop.
I love it. Like for the love of the game, money's ruined the NBA. They don't play defense. Like well, they can't guard the best players in the world too. Like, whoops. Oh, look, a guy hit a free throw. It's not college basketball. Oh, I'm fucking.
But I feel there's a potentially a little bit of a racial element there. Like an Obama speaks so well kind of thing going on, where it's just like you're giving him credit for something that's credit has long over. It's like granted for a lot of people like me and Ross.
He's reaping the credit that fucking Wu-Tang, Biggie, fucking Nas, Warren G, Snoop, Dre all deserve this notoriety.
Yeah,
that he's getting now because white people are finally not racist enough to just turn a blind eye to it because it was on Broadway.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. And but dude, anyway, I will.
I mean,
say,
should they do a rap of the ages style a theater production like that gay show, a Rock of Ages, where they get all of the they get a theatrical Biggie out there to belt out Juicy with a chorus line?
No, they shouldn't do that at all. Because again, the whole point of rap kind of was the exact opposite of this play. It wasn't. I mean, I guess when you're in the arts, you're in the arts, but like it wasn't supposed to be I'm fucking bopping and booping about a historical white guy on a stage on Broadway. Yeah. It was just it was a way to vent or whatever. I'm not even going to say what it was. Yeah, but anyway,
we could get into
your favorite.
Huh?
Hold on, I got a question. One, I got to bring up the guy who invented it and played Hamilton is ugly, and he shouldn't have been Hamilton, and he's not really a good actor. And his eyes look like testicles. But besides that guy, writing him himself as the lead role, which is hilarious.
I mean, I'm sure he's much worse in The Heights, where it's like a romantic fucking production, and you know what I mean, like a more traditional. Because at least this one, you can give him the credit. Like, all right, you wrote all the raps, you get to say them, you know.
Yeah, I know. Like, you could give that fucking credit. Like, I guess Spike Lee did it with movies.
It's not like Flava Flav was a fucking good-looking guy. You know what I mean? We can.
Yeah. He was also in a group called Public Enemy. But the other thing is, who was your favorite character? Because mine was not the woman he married, but her older sister. I thought she was the best in the entire show.
Okay.
She was fucking blazing as hell, too.
I mean, was he banging both of them, by the way? He was,
I don't know
right?
what they were insinuating. I don't think they were. I think he was. I love you too, but we can't do it because my sister and her happiness comes first.
I mean, it might be controversial, but I'm a big Aaron Burr fan, I would say.
Dude, you know what's hilarious?
Mainly just on the...
Last time I took mushrooms, I ended up at the Burr Hamilton Memorial in New York.
You were telling me you had a major spoiler going into this movie because you already knew how it ended. Much like me that forgot to pay attention in school growing up and was shocked by the... Wait a minute, he got shot by... I remember this one actually. Do you remember from the milk commercial when we were kids?
With the Burr?
Huh?
Yeah.
Where the radio question was asked, and the guy had peanut butter in his mouth. Yeah, and he couldn't. So I knew this one. I was ahead of you here. Fucking.
Also, while the king
but you were tripping mushrooms in Weehawken and wound up at the historical Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton house?
At the Burr Hamilton Memorial, where Hamilton and apparently his son also died because they both shot into the air. Good move, guys. Like when your son dies a week before you, shooting a bullet into the air instead of at the guy he's dueling with, and then dies, and then you do the same thing and then die. Probably should have learned your lesson.
I mean, he was trying to go out like his pops, you know.
No, but he didn't have a father who hardly fathered.
Oh!
Ooh, baby, it's time to get geeked up.